All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Modern Brown Men podcast, episode 4. This episode is going to be referencing towards the last episode that we had, in which was in regards to the journey to becoming a true man. And of course, if you watched our previous episode, you kind of had a picture of like what we went through, the issues that men have to face in order to become successful and trying to work their way through into today's world. So in this episode, we're going to focus a lot more towards on the solutions, or at least, from our own perspective on what men should do if they're in a difficult spot, or if they're just finding they're just not growing enough. We'll just give our own personal preference, our own solutions and what they should do. And
also going back to the previous episode, I don't want anybody to come at us be like, yo, who do you think you are? You know what it takes to be a man. We're not saying that, so I don't want anybody to think like we're higher than anybody or we possess more knowledge or anything. We're just coming from personal experiences and just kind of, sharing our opinions. So, people are more than, willing to chime into these discussions as it please. But I think one thing that, we talked about in the last episode was just, understanding like the struggles, we all have them, and understanding the balance though, because a lot of the times what I see, especially nowadays, is people like just look at that struggle aspect. They're like, oh, struggle, it helps you attain, greater things. Through struggles, you get more money eventually. Through struggles, you're able to accomplish more, whatever it may be, right? That might be true, but I feel like overall in the totality of when you look at trying to attain, I hope everybody tries to attain happiness to a certain extent, because, it brings joy to your life, without it, what are you really working towards, right? So I think a lot of the people get confused between the struggle and not balancing it with their life in general. Like, improving your relationship, whether it's your friends, whatever, it's just they overwork themselves and thinking, work, improve, but guess what? At the end of the day, when you sit on your deathbed, guess what? That $1 million, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't mean much. When you don't have that balance, what do you really work towards, And that's what I feel like we need to focus on more. Yeah, have that struggle. Obviously, certain times requires it as a man to go through the struggles to attain a life that you want for yourself. Without it, it doesn't have any bearing to your journey, right? So
I would say I'll take a different point of view from it.
Okay.
So usually, I mean, from your elders or people, like if you ask them for advice, right? They'll usually say like, enjoy your life in your early 20s and stuff like that. Man, I just don't see it that way, because I think for them they're talking from a sensitive point of view.
Yeah.
Because for them they just think that because they just think that a 9 to 5, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Right? The way I view it, and this is going to be a bit of a rant, is that I think in your 20s, you should be focusing on building those skill sets, because in order to become successful, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to build value, right? And if you want to make that money now, I don't think that money is associated with success. Success is associated with the type of skill sets you build.
Yeah.
In order to build them, it takes time. So if you start early, right, whether it be a business, whatever it is, if you're just creating something, it's gonna take time.
It does.
And the earlier you start, the more time you have. If you fail, right, you learn from the failures. You keep on going. Right?
100%.
So I just think it's like a stock market, right? It goes up, you learn, you fail, go down a bit, then you redo it again and over again.
Yeah.
And in that regards to it, just kind of leading into like family time too, right? Even when when we look at our own family, right?
Yeah.
Immigrant family, our parents come here, they work, they don't even work a 9 to 5, they work like 24/7.
Yeah. No,
right? And that too, just for money. And I'm pretty sure I can say for majority of us, we don't want to live that life, have that cycle again. So in order, and that kind of just goes back to, in your early 20s, you should be spending time on like something that's valuable.
Yeah.
And I don't think like you're not going to get much out of just partying and stuff. But
yeah,
I would say though, you should have a balance, quote unquote balance.
Yeah.
In enjoying life. But I don't think partying is enjoying life. I think the small things, like just, hang out with your boys, in doing this, going on a small vacation with your boys and stuff like that's valuable, right?
Yeah.
Partying is not going to lead you anywhere.
No, 100%. I mean, as you said, like going out and going to different countries, traveling. Thing is, that brings a beauty to itself because now you experience different cultures, way of life. You get a different understanding of life completely, man.
Yeah.
And this is where I go back, me living in India, man. Like, the perspective it brought me on life of how grateful and the gratitude that I have, the life that I have here, man, it taught me so much not to take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And growing up back home, it was different, man. You see, literally kids that are 2, 3, 4 out on the streets. There's sometimes they're even forced by the parents to go beg, this, that. Like, when you see that and you're like, damn, like, I have this life where I'm given everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about where I sleep. Where am I getting my meal tomorrow, today? None of that. And the fact that we don't take advantage of that opportunity in itself is a slap to, the faces of what life means.
Yeah.
Like that should be your greatest gratitude in life, the life in general, what we have here in North America. Like, only way I feel like we as a generation is going backward is kind of, alluding to the fact that dopamine rush we're looking for.
Yeah.
Going out, sitting on TikTok for literally hours. I don't know how people do it, man. I look at for a screen for like 30 minutes, my eye starts burning. I don't know, maybe because I'm old and shit, but I don't know. I can't. And the thing is like, and this is like in the earlies. This probably starts at like age 10 to like 30s, like probably say like early 30s.
Yeah.
People are constantly scrolling. Scroll. What are you scrolling at?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Like, what rush does it give you? Be like, yeah, I'm accomplishing something in my life. At that age, it's like that's not. It should be action, trying different things, doing different things in life. And one of the things that I would encourage people to do out there was a professor at Nate. He told me, he's like, Amir, I would highly encourage you at a young age. He's like, go sit on non-for-profit boards. He's like, apply for them. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, who cares? It's not a big deal. But he's like, what you get from that is, he's like, one, it doesn't cost you anything. Only thing it costs you is time. But during that time that it does cost you, it teaches you a valuable lesson of how a corporation is run, or how a business is run, or how the organization is run, or whatever it may be. Guess what? Now you absorb that knowledge. Yeah. You take it in at an early age. And when you take those small little steps at an early age, it builds up in your 30s, in your 40s, and 50s. It only grows over a period of time. But thing is, now the things that are being normalized is social media, right? We'll look at a video. Literally, I'm not going to sit here and lie that I never fell victim to this. I did. When you look at a video like, damn, it's motivational. Like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up early, like 5, I'm gonna go work out.
It ain't happening.
5 a.m. hits, snooze, 6 snooze. It doesn't happen. But thing is, like, that's where the action has to change. Stop scrolling through countless. Act now.
Yeah.
You think like, just because I'm having a bad day, I don't feel good. Who cares? Go for a walk. Go do something that at least some sort of physical activities that will, help you in the long run, because now you build a habit. You do it today, you do it tomorrow, and over a period of time, you'll be good. And the current period should have no relevance to where you are in life. Like an opinion of an outsider shouldn't mean anything. Your opinion of yourself should be the hardest critic out there. Not nobody, Billy Joe sitting out on the internet saying you're this, you're big, you're that. It doesn't matter. You should be your hardest critic out there, looking yourself in the mirror every day. Am I really where I want to be in life? And then proceed from there. Even if you're not, that's not a big deal. At least you're acting on understanding. You're like, I'm not where I want to be. But guess what? I can improve on this.
Yeah.
Just because you're in that time frame, that doesn't mean you can't improve from it. Just understand those small little things. There's more to it than life than just scrolling on social media. And man, it's crazy to me how many people I see just fall in love with whatever the stories happening in Hollywood. or whatever in media in general. Like people that love, like fall in love. Like Kanye is going crazy. This guy's going crazy. Johnny Depp is right. Freaking divorced this girl. The amount of publicity it gets, it is mind-boggling to me, man.
Yeah.
There's so much other shit that's going around the world that gets no coverage. Where like not saying these people their lives are not being impacted, but on a greater scale of the totality and how much struggles other people are going around the world gets no coverage. Somehow stuff like this has relevance. Like Kim K today walked in outside bare feet. Oh my God, she going crazy. Like what? Who cares? Yeah. Why are we putting such an importance on that stuff? Like work on real stuff, Yeah. And I don't know, it just, the more you see it, the sadder it gets.
Yeah. I think though, it's just, people are just trying to run away from reality. Man, it's just, man, I don't know what to say, man. It's just ridiculous, man. It's like, I can understand, you know what? It is difficult, right? It's different from the rat race.
Yeah.
Right? Like a 9 to 5. I'm not saying 9 to 5 is bad or anything like that. If you enjoy your 9 to 5, by all means, go for it as long as you enjoy it. But I think a lot of people, like they don't really, like I was saying before, like they don't put time towards building, right? And they go towards the dopamine rush, like, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Just to run away from reality, right? And I believe that whether it be now, later, or like when you have kids, you're gonna have to like end up having to face it.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta build skill sets.
100%.
Even, I mean, this is kind of going kind of off topic, but just like even I was talking to my buddy, he's working like quote unquote a 9 to 5, but he's actually working he's working from 7 a.m. to like 11 p.m. He's telling me, he's like, he has friends that are making 150K, right? And they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Because majority of their money is towards subscriptions. They're trying to run away from like reality itself.
Yeah.
And then like, what kind of life is that to live?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right?
I think it's just, as you said, it's ton of, staying disciplined throughout your goals and the dreams, and just understanding that attaining discipline is the greatest thing. Like I would like the reel I put up today on the story. Fuck your motivation. Your motivation is not gonna be like, it might be here tomorrow. Ain't gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be there? Your willingness to get your ass out the bed, going to work on your business, going to the gym, or whatever it may be, fixing a relationship between your mom and parents. That's discipline over a period of time. That's what it builds. Motivation not going to be there. It might be here today, but not tomorrow and the day after. Yeah. It's not always there, So people are like, oh, I'm motivated enough. Yeah, like today I might feel sad. That's just how the human body works. It goes through emotions every day. And not every day be like, yeah, I'm willing to conquer the world. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I wish it did. Everybody be successful if it did work like that.
Yeah.
Right? So understanding, the importance of it, like at an early age, man, like really surround yourself and push yourself in all categories of life. When it comes to, even go on finding mentors for yourself, role models, whether, putting yourself in a comfortable, positions, public speaking, whatever it is, those are integral skills that you need to attain, right? Like, if you're not doing that, then, it's a pointless journey. Like, you're throwing the gift of life away.
Yeah. And even if like whatever growth there is, right, whether it be small or big, like just it all adds up, right? It's like you're going to the gym, you're doing bench press, right? You're trying to hit that 225.
You'll hit
add those 5 pounds, 2.5, once a week, every 2 weeks, it adds up.
It does.
Eventually you get up to the 225, right? So don't ever feel like I think worth is also an issue too, thinking you don't have any self-worth.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a type of delusion that we just think that we're not enough for ourselves, and we take others' perspective too much into account.
Yeah.
So I think you just need to be blinded with what you want to do, and just take every step. Be open-minded.
100%.
Above all, be patient, because it's going to take some time.
It is, man.
But eventually you're going to get there. So.
Yeah, no, building upon what you said, working towards a 225. Hey, tomorrow it might be 2.5, and the day after it might not go up. Guess what? A month later, it might go up by 5 pounds. And then a month later, it might only go up by 2.5. But guess what? It's incrementally, it's going up. The increment, it's building up. And that's how life is.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Over a period of time, a year, 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be, it's going to add up over time. And only thing that will deter you from success is yourself. you can only blame other people for so long. You can only point fingers for so long until, you really look at yourself in the mirror like, damn, like all that time I was blaming others, but the reality is I wasn't living true to myself. Living true to yourself is so important, because now we live in an age where like social media has like this grip hold on the generation now, where every single opinion matters. Like, people shouldn't be out here to dispel a character of themselves. They should be here to stay true to themselves. Like, stuff happens in their life that doesn't, it doesn't narrate a particular life, because certain days they feel like this, certain days they don't feel like that. That has no impact on, the way they carry their life. So, your character of who you are is who you are. Stay true to it, no matter what it is. Don't chase that shiny object. Now, how many, you see it literally everywhere on social media, how to go 0 to 100K, how to go 0 to 20K. Literally, that's all we're doing. The thing is, okay, I'm not saying, some of them could be scams or not. I don't know. I don't look at that. The things you should be focusing on is a skill set that you should attain yourself and build to eventually get up to that mark. You think you join a program tomorrow, you're going from 0 to 100K, everybody be signing up. Everybody be rich as hell, everybody be, over 6 figures, no problem. But that's not what it takes. What it takes is improving on the small skill set, as we said, building on, having a role model, attaining your physical health, emotionally, go meditate. There's no harm in it. It doesn't mean, oh, this guy's weird, he's meditating. No, it calms you down. Like, in a day, literally sit there with your thought process for literally 10, 15 minutes. No music, no nothing. Whether, we have the availability of where like there's sun coming, sunlight's coming in, sit down, be in control of your thoughts and sit there. See what's going on in your brain. And I'm telling you, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, man. Like I, be the first one to say, I made a lot of mistakes running my business. I have. And, a lot of the time, the self-reflection that I take a look, I usually be like, this guy was in there. Oh, I didn't have this. I didn't have that. But when that did happen, did I look for an outlet how to, resolve it or ask people's opinion? How should I go about it? No, I didn't do that. Rather, I deflected blame on this. Be like, oh, this person did this, or I didn't have this support, or this, that, or like, whatever it may be. I was just looking for things to hold on to, kind of like not feel bad for myself. But at the end of the day, it was, mistakes part of the process. But for me, it didn't render at that time. And when I really started sitting with my own thoughts, I'm like, okay, let me take a step back and really understand, what I'm doing wrong. Like, why don't have enough time certain times? When I don't have that, I'm still working on it. I haven't attained, understanding how to, like, making money is like the first concept you want to get into, like when it comes to finance. It's like attaining it. Okay, how do you get to it? Obviously, you have a business and everything, and now you surround yourself people that already made it. So now you understand a little bit more and more and more about the nitty-gritty stuff. Like, okay, so how do I make money now without actually, I have something set up. How do I extract myself from it and have it run properly the way it was before, and it's still giving me money? Because there's an illusion of passive income. I don't think there's no such thing as passive income. Reason why I say that, yes, there is, but guess what? It's hard to just detach yourself thinking that money is going to keep bringing, it's going to cash in every day. Very hard. It's very hard to have a business that you think you can just detach yourself completely. Anything is going to just provide you income, no problem. No, man, like you have to be fully understanding what's going on all the time. Detach yourself from a perspective where you're not spending 24 hours in that business. Understand, okay, I can delegate some of the duties to a manager, even if it costs you 50, 60K a year. But guess what? At least now you taking that freedom for yourself, like that 12 extra hours out of a day to work on how to attain, maybe a different business ideas or surround yourself with other people. So one of the mistakes I did make was just not understanding, like, the mistakes are inevitable, not to be harsh on myself, and understanding how to learn through it. At first I didn't look at that. I'm like, man, I made mistakes, but why did I make a mistake? I'm like, yeah, my accountant fucked up. Oh, this, that, like just blaming others.
Yeah.
Start taking onus upon yourself and understand like, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes and it's okay. And then me sitting in my own thoughts for like a day, literally I used to sit under the sun
Yeah.
for 10 minutes a day and literally sit there, no music, no nothing, glass of water by my side and sit there like, what can I be doing better?
Yeah.
That helped me a lot.
Interesting. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess from my own personal view, perspective or story, I mean, I think you already know, like, they had that men's grooming company. Yeah. So I started that back in, when was it, second year of university. And honestly, I didn't have cash. I didn't have any cash. Yeah. I was working a part-time job at Nike. But then I was like, you know what, man? I was like, I did a lot of research or a lot of R&D. And I was like, back then, there was a lot of men's grooming companies or within that industry in the States.
I remember you were telling me.
Yeah. So then I was like, you know what? So I took about 2 years researching everything, ingredients, distributors, suppliers, everything, and then made a perfect product. I got my buddy to make the design, and it was just like, man, I didn't have any experience in this shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, as I was learning, I was like, yo, this is fun. Even though I was working till like, I was working on the company till like 3 a.m. I was because of school and work and everything.
Yeah.
But I was tired and stuff, but I enjoyed the process. Mm-hmm. Of course, the business didn't really take off the way, that I wanted to. It didn't really, take off at all. But
that's okay though.
But I was really salty. I was so fucking salty. But one thing I'll say for sure, like what you did for yourself, right? I sat there, I went through everything. I kind of grasped upon the idea of like, I created a business. I learned a lot through the process.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I didn't know I was capable of. And I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, like this company was a reference of my growth.
Yep.
And
exactly.
what I've learned, right? Even though like I wanted to create the product, I think it was just a starting point where, I wanted to just work on myself. Yeah. And I was undervaluing my capacity, right? Undervaluing my
capability.
Capability. There you go. Capability of like how far I can go.
Yeah.
Right. And that was just a starting point. And then right after that, it's just building on, the next block and the block after that. Right. So, in the moment, of course, we don't think about it, but then once you step back, you sit, right? You really go through, you really think about what you've grown, how, you failed, but then how much you've grown afterwards, towards that. And I think like successful people, we don't really see successful people like, for a few people like Iman Gadzhi, right? Yeah. Iman's only like, I think he's like only 24 years old.
Youngin.
But that kid, even what he said, he's like, he locked his door, he put his head down, he went to work.
Yeah.
Right? There's also Alex Hormozi, right? Nipsey also, of course, always reference Nipsey also. There's a lot of people out there, but it all starts from putting in the time to to learn and to grow.
100%. And it kind of goes back to, I don't even want to shout out to Omid, he's behind the cameras for this one as well. But, he was telling us a story last time after we finished our podcast, he literally sat there and said, when he started the podcast, he's like, he wasn't as, couldn't speak on a camera that easy. Couldn't, do certain things that, now it's not even like it just comes to him,
Yeah.
And that speaks to testament to his character. He wanted something of his life, and everybody should strive towards that, work towards something. And it's not going to be like, year one, I'm going to be good at everything. You're not going to be good at everything. I'm sorry. If you have this false narrative of people selling you a dream, you're not going to be good at everything. Yeah, you can attain perfection by improving every day. Practice makes better. It doesn't make people like, practice make perfect. No, it doesn't. Practice makes better every day. You do it better and better and better. So I think people gotta just understand that the capability of what your cap is, never put a cap on it. Because only thing that deters us from succeeding is a self-respect we have for ourselves and the positive thought process that we have in our mind. Because negative thinking kills ourselves and our generation so much, especially in our culture. That negative thinking is so prevalent. It is crazy to me, man. The amount of kids that I see out there be like, they have this negative viewpoint. Be like, man, I can't attain this because, my dad had this. Like, brown kid, to a certain extent, their parents been in some sort of business at some point and failed, and they just decided to be like, I can't do that, just go to 9 to 5 job. It provides stability. But guess what? Now you can pick their brains, be like, yo, like, what happened? Because for the parents, it was a survival mode. For you, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
There it was just survival because they had to get through that hard time just to provide you a life. Yeah. But guess what? Now you don't have that. It's not like survival mode for majority of the kids out there in our community. You know, it's depending on who it is, like people coming from, you know, if you're international students, that's different. But I'm talking about the kids that are just here. And what they have is far greater opportunity than what we could ask for. So, you know, we're not understanding of having more thought process, like positive, having a positive thought process. So understanding, be like, okay, I can't attain this, but how can I go about it? Who else is doing it in the stream? You know, like in my stream, is anybody else doing this that I feel like, okay, they're doing it in a rightful manner. And I feel like the values, the way my character is, my values, my morals are somewhat aligned with that person. But even if it's not, you know, it doesn't hurt to reach out to them and understand, you know, they can provide you certain knowledge that, you know, you don't have at the time. And, you know, you shouldn't be afraid. Just don't be afraid, man. Like, don't be, if you want to be a video creator, especially in our community, it's just freaking frowned upon.
Yeah.
What do parents say? Today, me and my mom. Tell you a funny story. I love my mom. She's an angel. Yeah. But she's like, hey, podcast karda. She's like, she's like, ida matlab ki hai. She's like, ki banda hai ide vich. I'm like, mom, like, what you guys don't understand is like this stuff I wanted to do it from a young age. Yeah. Everybody from high school, I'm telling you, man, like I even got nominated for class clown in grade 12. They were telling me, they're like, Amir, you're funny as hell. Like, open a YouTube channel. This is when, like, you know, AK guys and everybody were coming up, you know. They're like, Amir, you would do so good. You would. This is like grade 11, grade 12. My friends pushed me, man, like literally. But guess what? I was looking at the negative. Yeah. Man, I can't do this. I'm too shy. Nobody will watch me. Yeah. I don't think I'm capable of this. It's that negative thinking at a young age that I could have taken action. Even if worse comes to worse, it wouldn't have worked out. Did I lose anything? Yeah. Except for time. But guess what? During that time, at least I learned who I was. You know, so it's not a loss. So stop having that negative, you know, thought process from a young age. Like, even I have a lot of cousins that are capable of so many greater things, but only thing that kills them is that negative thought process they have and how they carry themselves. So I think everybody out there got to understand their capabilities are far beyond reach of their own mindset that they haven't unlocked. And then I don't think you know, certain people do unlock it at an early age where they understand themselves and they work on it, but that's over a period of time. So, you know, people just got to be more, you know, I'm not saying just be a positive, like, oh my God, positive today. No, I'm not saying be fake or nothing, you know, but, you know, have that understanding. Positive thoughts are good to have, and understand it helps you on a greater scale compared to negative thinking.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it does I mean, this is also, I think you kind of touched on it as well, but like it also reflects on other aspects of your life too. Right?
100%, man.
So, I wouldn't say like it starts with the business, but I think it starts with health, right? So if you're working out, doing all that stuff, it's a reflection of your mindset and your discipline between your business, your growth, professionalism,
100%,
the way you present yourself, self-grooming, everything, right? So it's all like...
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Can't find the words right now, but
yeah, no, you're good.
But yeah. It's you kind of have an understanding, like, you know, how important it is. Yeah. One thing, I mean, I just thought it right now. You know, it's gonna be interesting to get your perspective on it.
Okay. Let's see.
So now that we talked about, you know, how important it is to be disciplined, to be, you know, how important it is to invest in yourself. Let's talk about what comes with it, though. Yeah. Right. So let's talk about the sacrifices you have to make for it. Yeah. Okay. Because remember how we talked about time? Yeah. And how time, and, you know, it takes time to build a skill set, which equals to value. Yeah. Right. What comes with it? What sacrifices would you have to make in order to make that time?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, it's a responsibility. Personally, without responsibility in life, it's hard to kind of understand what you're capable of. Because thing is, without sacrifices, you will never unlock your potential and really push yourself in life. Like, for example, from personal experiences, you know, I was never that person be like, people call me, be like, yo, there's a party going on, come through. Man, what for?
Yeah.
It's same shit. Yeah, like with brown guys, that's what I seen. Like, no knock on them. I'm brown as well. But like, the amount of time you go to clubs and stuff, like mine was very minimum. I don't go to many, nor even to this day, I don't go. I don't even know last time I've been in one. But they have this weird mentality of like, okay, they're getting some sort of validation sitting in a corner. Everybody's chipping in for a goddamn table. They're like, bro, you got 500? Like, everybody looking at when they get the bill, everybody's like, yo, bro, he charged me 500, like 1,000. What are we doing? Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Like, pull away from that crowd. Pull away right now. If everybody's out there, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you're one of those guys that chipping in for freaking bottle services, and you don't have much money in your bank account. Get out right now. So, and that's the thing, like, responsibility. We're careless. We think that environment, being around it, brings us some sort of status. Oh, they got all the girls. You're like, it's flashy cars. They're wearing nice clothing. This, that. No, that's not. No, but if that's what you think life is about, I encourage you, go read some books. Go to school. Don't skip classes. You know, attain higher knowledge that, you know, makes you understand what life really means. Like, you know, it's cool once you have that lifestyle where you attained it. You have that, you know, maybe you do like popping bottles, but guess what? Not, at least if you have 6 figures in your account or a bunch of M's sitting in there, okay, you can do that. But not when you working, like, hey, tomorrow you wake up, they're like, hey, I'm going to Subway to go work, you know? Can't be doing that. Save your money, invest in yourself rather than, you know, popping bottles, invest in yourself. You know, take a orientation somewhere where it helps you understand, you know, really what you want to do in life, even if, you know, and through those things, not only will it help you understand, be like, okay, something I thought I wanted to do, maybe it's not what is actually meant for me. Because now you actually put yourself in position, be like, okay, I don't know. Let's just say you want to be a journalist, for example. You know, let's say you do that for a couple of years. Now you're pushing yourself, you're putting yourself in different positions. But guess what? Now you come through a point where like, I don't like doing this. But you only realize that because you put yourself through that journey, be like understanding, I don't like doing this, but guess where it comes from? Being around that environment of journalism or whatever it may be, because now you're looking at other segments of business or lifestyle, whatever it may be, and you understand and be like, okay, maybe I want to be in finance. You know, I want to be in that segment of making money. Because at the end of the day, without, you know, that Benjamins, that greens, I don't care. And nobody says until you don't have that, that's what power is. Power is money. And only way to attain it is putting your head down and taking that responsibility and understanding, okay, once you attain it, how do I use this to enhance my life? That's the important thing.
True.
Getting that money is okay, but like, how do you enhance yourself, your capability, your abilities to invest in yourself? That's what power is. First, attaining that, you know, obviously that money aspect, because that's like the main segment, you know. A lot of the times people say, you know, oh, money's not everything. I agree, but majority of them that are saying it, they got a bunch of money in the bank account. It's like they listen to these celebrities, they're like, money's not everything. They're like, okay, let's switch sides. You give me your whatever, 36, 30 million you have in the bank account. You come on this side, right? You know, so to a certain extent, you know, I'm not saying money is everything. It's not, but to actually attain some sort of level of authority or power, you do need to have that financial stability to do otherwise, you know. So I think for me personally, it comes down to, you know, responsibility. I know I took a different turn, but yeah.
No, I completely agree. Responsibility and accountability. I guess responsibility, accountability is the same thing. But yeah, I think you just need to have a bigger picture in your mind of where you want to go. Like I mentioned in the last episode, you need to have an understanding of what type of man you want to be. Even just the type of person you want, you know, type of woman that you want to have in your life. I think right now is just like, even kind of going back to a dopamine rush. We kind of chase after
what the shiny object is.
No,
I'm telling you, a lot of the time, like, you know, in relationships, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of the time, people don't realize it in that moment. The person they're with is literally the perfect thing, unless like it's toxic or something. Then you gotta understand, walk away. But a lot of the times, we have that good, but sometimes we chase it for the better. But guess what? When we get to the better, it's actually not better. And then when you try to go back to the good, the good's not there no more. So we got to understand, like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, fallacies we got to work on. It's human nature. Like as men, like, we chase the wrong things, man.
Yeah.
We chasing the wrong things.
Yeah.
And we got to understand, just because a better looks better, it doesn't mean it's better for you.
Oh, yeah.
The good that you have, you got to focus on relationship-wise. It's just understanding the person you're with, you're working together as a team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whether it comes to financial, fitness, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever it is, maybe those had to correlate together for it to kind of prosper into a relationship where it eventually leads to marriage, eventually leads to having kids, you know, and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah, all good. No, I completely agree. Like, I think, but the way I was kind of like going with this was that, like, even if we take a look, right, like the type of man that what a woman wants in a type of man, right, is like financial stability, success, and everything like that. And kind of just tying back, it takes time to build, trying to do all that stuff. So if there is, because, like, I mean, we look at fucking Instagram and like, we're like, man, this chick is hot and shit like that. But then you're just like, man, you kind of like undervaluing stuff, like, I'm not good enough, right? And then fucking do something about it, right? Like build skill sets. You don't need to build a business, like I was saying before. You don't need to build a business, but as long as you try something new, right? You try it out. You always learn something from something, even if you fail it, right? And eventually you get to a point where all that stuff that you've learned, you become successful, right? And then, you know, then you attract the right person in your life.
No, 100%.
Right? And even going even more deeper into this, like even just family time, right? Our parents sacrifice so much time just to put food on the table, to put a roof above our head. Yeah. I don't want to live that life, man. Like, I don't want, like, you know, if I'm playing soccer, I want to be able to see my dad on the side, like, I got it. My dad's right there.
100%.
I want to make sure that my financials are all straightened out before I get even thinking about marriage, and being able to go to my kids' like sports games and all that sort of
100%.
stuff.
I mean, I agree. And this kind of ties back to, you know, previous episode in regards to how men are pretty much, you know, demasculating themselves. They're sitting there just scrolling through girls, like, you know, IGs, this, that, and just chasing the wrong things, you know. And this is why women are winning this. Not winning, I won't say winning. For a better word, I would say they're becoming more successful when it comes to business, lifestyle. They're making more money. The reasoning why, they're not doing what we're doing. You know, especially in our culture, they're not just sitting there, be like, damn, like, amount of time I hear stories about relationship where, like, I'm so ducky, she left me, this, that. Like, it's cool, like, you know, for a week or two, a month, it goes by. After that, hey, cut it out. I don't want to hear it. Go hit the gym, feel better. I don't want to hear she left your ass. Leave, move on with your life. There's more to it than just that. If that person chose to leave, that means that person did not care for you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and then it just wasn't meant to be. So understand, you know, not to be harsh on anybody though, but but just understand, you know, the dopamine rush that we get in our mind just scrolling through, like, oh, like, this is pretty, this is that. Like, it's okay, it's cool and all that, so easily accessible, but it's putting us so far back as men that we have no real purpose. We're just scrolling and doing things without any purpose. We're just going to a 9-to-5 job, miserable as shit. Amount of people I see just, you know, as you said, there's nothing bad wrong about a 9-to-5 job. It's just, but if you're unhappy and your negative thought process, your attitude is changing day to day, you're in a grasp of changing that.
Yeah.
You're not bound to a chain where, like, I can't move. Yeah. Free yourself from those chains, you know, and the only person that you can do is, you know, the thought process you have and the mindset that you have. And that's the only thing that can, you know, break you from those barriers. Other than that, you'll just continue that same lifestyle every day, get up, work, be miserable to a certain extent because you know what you're going through, but you don't want to do anything about it.
You don't want to do anything about it, yeah.
That's true. You just want to deflect blame, deflect. But for how long? Yeah. How long are you going to do that for? Like, suck it up. This is life. Life is hard. Mm-hmm. It doesn't care if you're a good guy or a bad guy. When it comes at you, it's going to come at you.
Yeah.
You know? And it goes forward, and you're gonna be okay tomorrow. You know, so understand this life. It doesn't cater to whether you're good, you're bad, you're evil, this, that. No, it has no. It doesn't take any favors.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this guy's a good guy, let me put some, better luck on this side. No, it doesn't work like that. You make your own luck. You put yourself in, more position to be lucky. I hate when people say, be like, oh, he got lucky. Some people do. They just, out of luck of the draw, they do. But guess what? You can become luckier. The reason why, you put yourself in a position to be luckier, where you surround yourself with people where now, okay, certain opportunities can happen. Be like, hey, I know that guy that was around last week.
Yeah.
He would be good for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you put yourself in a position to, have that luck of the draw,
Yeah.
And people got to understand that there's no such thing as luck. To a certain extent there is, but there's no such thing as that. It's just becoming luckier. That can be improved, actually. It's not a narrative that's like far-fetched gone. You can become luckier given what you're doing in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think, like, especially for myself, like, more personally, I had I guess I can say is like I had an addiction to pornography.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say that word. We get flagged or some shit.
No, that's normal. That's a lot of the issues out there as well. Pornography.
No, yeah. But it was like, man, it's just like, it was that dopamine, right? It was like wanting that lust, right? As a kid, because you just feel like there's, of course, I'm going into the dookie part again, but like, feeling lonely, right? Not having a girl. Right. And I was like, jealous that other guys were getting girls' numbers and I was hanging out with them and stuff, like, where I was this one kid that was just sitting in the corner. Man, I was like, and I'm looking back, I'm like, fuck, man, if only I had like an older brother.
Yeah.
If I had the right people in my corner, they would have put me in my place.
Yeah.
Straight up. But I think that, and that's the problem with a lot of kids these days, is they're so lost and they have so much anger, right? Like, especially the shit that's happening here in Edmonton. The thing that happened with the kid in McNally, the shooting and everything like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know the exact, the reason behind it, but it's just like, man, there's so much shit happening in the younger generation. And I think, and I was thinking through this. I was like, you know what? I think it's because this world has become so sensitive, right? That these kids don't know how to exactly pivot their way through this world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just more a personal perspective.
Yeah.
But I think kids these days need to have some sort of standards, and like if they're going through something, they need to rely on those standards.
Yeah.
So I think those standards, I mean, at least from what I believe and what helped me, is that you need to have that self-respect, right? Have those tight people with you, right? Those people in your corner to put you straight, to put you, hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And I think you just need to be able to, like, whenever you're going through something, whether it be a relationship, whether it be friendship, whatever failure it may be, be able to step back. Be able to step back and adapt. Reflect, adapt. That helped me so much, right?
You have to.
I didn't give a shit what fucking people say, but I think it's like, once you have that reality, once that reality hits you, that, okay, I'm going through something, step back, reflect, and adapt real quick, right? Learn what you've gone through, learn what you failed, and use it towards the next step.
Yeah. And the thing is, with, like, as you spoke about pornography, thing is, like, it's so bad, not only in a sense of, like, the addiction, and two, it builds unrealistic expectation of yourselves. Because, man, those people are paid actors, man. Like, they're chosen. Like, they're them. The reason why they're in that profession, But thing is, now we have this idea, what it means. And now we try to emulate that in our real life. When it doesn't work out, now you don't know. But like, damn, I'm not this, that. The overall, the understanding of pornography, the consumption, it is crazy. Even OnlyFans, the people like, all these guys are like, damn, like, these girls are making mad money off OnlyFans. Like, screw this. Like, yo, what the hell? Like, yo, they're putting it. But y'all are the same one that's consuming the content. It boggles my mind. The people are going out their way to, go subscribing to a girl on OnlyFans. Like, what makes you think you coming from a job? I'm gonna pay $30 a month on a subscription of an OnlyFans. I don't know. God forbid, man. Like, those people take that $30 a month, put it on, like, invest it in themselves.
Yeah.
you can't blame like the people like that are doing OnlyFans or girls, whoever it may be. Hey, run me my money. And winning, the people who are complaining, it's the same dudes that are subscribing to it.
Yeah.
Like, stray away from it. Stop this stupid shit that going on. OnlyFans sitting in the house where like you think this brings you some sort of, I don't know what the hell it brings you. Tell you the truth, I don't know. If you can enlighten me what it does for you, I would love to hear it. But you know, you stay away from that. Take that 30, 20, 10, whatever it is, invest it in yourself, man. And then you just, because it builds, you know, these imaginary things, man. Like in your head, you're like, it's supposed to be like this, it's supposed to be like that. Why isn't it not like this? Because they're paid actors, man. Like this is, stop. People gotta literally just stop. Stop watching that shit. It's killing you mentally, physically. Overall, it's not good for you. People just gotta cut that shit out, man. It's so bad for you, and I feel like people don't talk about it enough. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What else do we have to talk about? I think it's just getting to a point where it's getting repetitive. But yeah, man. I mean, if we're getting repetitive, you know how important it is. But yeah, man. I think it's just, you know, again, right? Learn, adapt, and grow. And then it's just repeat. You know, don't think like just successful people just got there just like that. They started where we started, right?
Yep, 100%.
Where I think, I'm not going to say we're successful yet. We're right there on the progress, and you know, so are you, right? So don't underestimate yourself, right?
Yeah, just don't get bogged down.
Yeah, man, just keep on growing, man. It's just, you'll get there eventually. It's a long path, right? So it's going to take a long time to get there. But make sure you value every step you take, everything that you learn, and you'll get there eventually. So
it's a long process, man. Smile throughout the journey. So don't be that Debbie Down ass person I told you about last video. Don't be that Debbie Down ass person. Nobody wants to hear it. Just do better, man. You got shit going on that's in the realm. It's a greater issue than you can actually kind of comprehend. Go seek help, whatever it may be. We as men just gotta understand our self-respect and understand our values and keep moving forward in life. So.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's about it for this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that subscribe, like, and all that. Comment. So, see y'all next one. Bow.
Peace.